Hello again everybody and welcome back to the channel. I'm on the allotment today on this very cold and gloomy day. It's pretty chilly. It has been quite mild recently, especially through October, but now it feels like winter is definitely arriving. But it's been very dry though, actually. It's not rained in like 2 weeks, but it's just been really cloudy. I don't think we've had a single sunny day in November yet. It's literally been like this every single day. But there's loads of things going on at the allotment at the moment, despite the fact that it's November. Of course, there's jobs which I'm doing to prepare the allotment for the winter, and there's loads of DIY projects I'm doing as well, and things are getting moved around. Lots and lots of developments at the moment, and that's what today's video is all about, mainly. All the things that are changing at the allotment in autumn. And also we're going to be planting our garlic as well. I've got garlic in modules which I need to plant out. I planted them like 6 weeks ago, so it's getting on a bit now. I need to plant them out before the ground freezes. And there's also the elephant garlic which I need to plant as well. And actually I need to clear the polytunnel as well. I've not even cleared that. It is the exact same as it was in the summer. All the plants are still in there, so I need to clear that really, don't I? So I'm going to show you guys what's going on around the allotment and my progress with the raised beds which I built the other week, and the things that I'm moving around as well in preparation for next year. So let's have a look at that, let's plant the garlic, and then let's clear the polytunnel. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Nettle! Stung myself on nettles, yep. Don't do that. So I'm not going to lie to you guys, I've been pretty lazy when it comes to this polytunnel. As you can see, nothing's been cleared. We harvested some sweet potatoes a few weeks ago from the buckets, but apart from that, it just looks really overgrown still actually. The physalis at the back here, not going to be trying physalis again. It didn't really do much for me. We did end up with these lanterns, but they're still green. Can you ripen physalis off the plant at home like you would tomatoes? Do let me know in the comments below. Never grown physalis before. We've got some butternut squash here, and I'm going to harvest those today because the plant itself is looking quite miserable and very dead. It's not really alive anymore. So we're going to harvest the butternut squashes from this. And yeah, those should be really nice. And the sweet potatoes here as well, which, let's be honest, there's probably nothing in there. I don't think we're going to get any sweet potatoes from that. If they're the same as the ones from the buckets, if you've watched that video, you'll know they didn't do very well. And yeah, there's just some aubergine plants in here with, yeah, no fruit on those. And yeah, that's it. We're going to clear this all now. And I'm going to plant some garlic in here as well, I think. But next year, I'm just going to grow tomatoes in here, I think. Oh my goodness, it's looking really messy over here. We need to sort this out. Right, let's get this sorted. Let's have a look at what... Blimey, we did a good job with this support system. Can't break it apart. Right, so sweet potatoes, let's see, there's probably going to be nothing, is there? I don't think we're going to have anything. I mean, that would be good, wouldn't it? No, we ended up planting the entire tuber at one point because there was loads of slips coming out of that. Yeah, I wish we could harvest sweet potatoes like that, sadly not. We'll see if there's anything in here. Can't actually see anything. There's literally, it's just roots. All it is just roots. Healthy foliage, you know, nice leafy growth, but no sweet potatoes. Yeah, we're not going to try it next year, I don't think. I may as well just grow something, plant something that works on my plot, something that grows well. So we have some sort of tuber there. That's it. Same again, that's just a seed potato. We basically just stored these sweet potatoes in the ground for 9 months. That's basically all we've done here really. We've not really grown any sweet potatoes. Let's harvest the butternut squashes, because I think they're going to start rotting if we don't harvest them soon. So we'll do that. Nice. I mean, I'd say it's a little bit on the unripe side, but I'm sure if we take that home it'll be okay. There's one on the other side here. I think this is the biggest butternut squash harvest I've ever had though. We harvested one about a month or so ago and it was nice, quite a big one. And yeah, I was really happy with that. And there's a few more here as well, so I'd say it's a successful year for butternut squash, and clearly growing them in the polytunnel gives better results than growing them outside. I'm going to be keeping these support systems here, I think, because I'll probably grow tomatoes up these next year because they're already there in place. Why not? We may as well. That one's got a bit of rot on it, but I mean it should be okay. 2 more lovely butternut squashes there, not too bad at all. I think that's it though. We have had a couple of them rot on the plant, which is a shame. We could have had more than this. Not too sure why I bother putting plant labels in with things when I plant them, because I just end up with labels everywhere later on. I mean, I clearly know what they are. I mean, unless I'm growing different varieties of tomato, yeah, I'm going to need labeling. I'm going to need to label those. But I think with stuff like this, that's definitely one of my bad habits, labels around the allotments. Bear in mind, we've already harvested one quite large butternut squash as well, about a month ago. And we also had some rot on the plant as well. You know, we lost 2 or 3 of them on the plant because it got quite wet in here. We lost those. But if you consider that, I don't think we've done too bad here. I think it was 3 plants we planted, so not a massive yield, but usually we don't manage to grow these, so I'll take that. Look at the jungle of phasalis plants we have here. They've taken up so much space. These things grow massive, and all we've really ended up with is green phasalis. I don't know if you can ripen them at home. Not too sure if it's worth trying, to be honest, but we'll save a few of them to the side and see what we can get away with. It's probably not going to work though. I'm not going to try these again next year, simply because the amount of space they take up, and it doesn't look like there's that many fruits on them anyway. They're just great big plants. So we've been putting all this green material in here, in this compost bin. One thing is certain, I'm going to have to put more brown material in here very soon. I've already put some wood chip and branches and fallen leaves in here, I think. Oh dear. Okay, I wasn't expecting that to happen. Okay, so that's the small polytunnel cleared, and I'm not too sure if you can tell, but it's already starting to get dark, and it's 2:30 in the afternoon, so it's not even that late. That's the only thing I hate about this time of year. It gets dark proper early. Yeah, not my favourite time of year. Anyway, let's get this garlic planted. We've got quite a lot of it actually, to be honest. We've got our elephant garlic to plant. Yeah, got quite a few of these to plant today. We're going to plant the elephant garlic outside though. With the normal garlic, we're going to plant that in the greenhouse, small greenhouse, and we're going to plant it in the polytunnel as well. We're going to grow it under cover this year because I found it just does better. You know, it's sheltered, it's warmer, and the soil is generally better in the greenhouse and the polytunnel, much better than outside. It's not as heavy clay. The soil which I've got here, and in fact in the small greenhouse as well, is all homemade compost, pretty much. A mixture of kitchen scraps, plant waste from the growing season, horse manure, and a little bit of shop bought compost as well. But it's all good stuff, really loose compost, and it's great for growing stuff in, and hopefully they do better. So I've got my garlic in modules, which I planted about 6 weeks ago now, and they're doing pretty well. I've got about 100 of them to plant, 100 garlic plants. Yeah, should be enough, hopefully. I've actually chosen the best cloves from my homegrown garlic. I've not bought any garlic to plant this year, completely self-sufficient. The garlic harvest wasn't the best, you know. We had some reasonable sized bulbs, and it's them bulbs which I'm saving the cloves from. I'm planting the best looking cloves to obviously get a better chance of a better harvest next year. And it's a complete mix of different varieties, to be honest. I've got some pink Germador, white Casablanca, and some garlic which I bought from the supermarket as well. So it's a complete mixture. I've also got some more which I'm going to plant here. You can never have too much garlic, can you? And some of them are actually monobulbs, you know, some of the plants that didn't grow as well, but we're going to try and plant them anyway, and probably harvest them as green garlic, some of them, because, you know, there are some small ones which we're going to throw in as well. Now I just want to show you guys how the brassicas are doing in the polytunnel. We planted these about a month ago in here. The seeds were actually sown back end of July, I think, if I remember correctly. And they're actually planted in these 30-litre buckets which I had potatoes in. I just reused the compost from the potatoes. I've not added anything else to them, and you know what, they're doing really well. I'm really impressed with the results so far. It's now the 9th of November and it is supposed to turn colder next week, so these will probably slow down, but they've got a good bit of growth on them now and they should see themselves through the winter. I think they should be all right. We have purple sprouting broccoli here. We've got quite a few of them planted, and they're around about 1.5 foot tall now, maybe 2 foot tall, some of them. And we've got some winter cabbages. The variety is called Spring Green, I think. We've got some black Tuscany kale there as well. And down there, the rest of those are all year round cauliflower, and they're looking pretty well as well. I think this is the best I've managed to get brassicas in November. I did plant a couple more of them down there, just some that were in containers, 9cm containers. Look at the difference. Those were planted a month ago in the buckets, and those were planted the other day. They were left in the containers for another month, and look at that. It just goes to show how important container size is. I mean, look, kale plants that have been in the buckets now for a month, and kale plants sown at the exact same time that were planted in here just a few days ago, and these were in the 9cm pots for a month longer, and look at the difference. So this week I've gradually been getting these raised beds lined with damp-proof membrane. I've been getting it cut to size and lining these. Now I've made the membrane a bit longer so it underlaps, sort of fits underneath the bed there, so the bed is not sat on the soil. That was a tip given to me by Stephen Colwell. Big thank you to Stephen Colwell for that tip. and I'm using these staples. I'm just hammering these staples into the top. I don't want to hammer any more of these staples further down. I'm just doing it around the rim because I don't want any soil or any moisture to get through to that wood. So yeah, that's what I've been doing here. And of course we've got some material already in there, wood chips from the paths and some horse manure as well. So that's what I'm using to slowly fill them up. There's a few leaves in that one over there. It's obviously going to take a lot of material to fill them all up. Now last week I said that I'm going to be moving the strawberry cage over to the new plot and putting a couple of raised beds here. The reason why I'm doing that is because the soil under here is really heavy clay and the strawberries here don't look very good as a result. In fact, we didn't get any strawberries from here at all. This 10 foot by 10 foot space yielded no strawberries, which is very disappointing. So we decided that we're going to move the strawberry cage to the new plot, which is all membraned by the way, and we're going to grow them next year in 30 litre buckets. I'll show you that in a moment, but this space here, I think it's big enough to fit another couple beds here which are 3 metres long by 1 metre wide, maybe. There's a couple of beds here which are completely rotten now. They're going to be removed as well, and the compost from that will help fill these beds up. So yeah, this strawberry cage was pretty difficult to move. Me and a plot neighbour had to do it. Kindly, he helped me. I found that every year I'm changing things and improving things, and I think it's okay to change things. I built this strawberry cage almost 4 years ago now. The first couple of years were okay, we got some good harvests of strawberries from in here, but I think as I've been standing on the membrane over time, it's gotten more and more compact, and that has negatively affected the health of these strawberry plants. So growing them in buckets, that's the way I'm going to go, and that's quite a big change happening at the allotment during the winter. So this space that was going to waste, hopefully we can grow some good stuff in raised beds here. Now, if you watched our updates earlier this year, I think it was around April time, you'll know about the polytunnel disaster that my mother sadly experienced. It wasn't very good at all. It was the new out-sunny polytunnel, the upgraded version, which we decided to get. Wasn't a very good idea. We thought because it was upgraded it would be better, and in fact this proved not to be true. This wasn't the case. It was actually far from the truth. The entire thing was blown away in the wind and it was completely obliterated. Literally. That is no over-exaggeration. The frame was completely ripped to shreds. It actually ended up in next door's plot, and the only thing that survived was the cover, minus a couple of holes here and there, but apart from that it survived, I think. Anyway, this has been sat on the corner of the plot now all year, and my mum has decided that she's going to go with a greenhouse. I think that's the plan. So she's not going to be getting a polytunnel. So she said that I can use this to replace the cover on this polytunnel. I purchased this polytunnel in May of 2020, so it's coming up to 5 years now. So, you know, this cover has started to degrade quite significantly now. It has got holes in. Don't even ask about the vents on the side. They don't even exist anymore. And the part of the polytunnel that is touching the frame has completely disintegrated. So I'm wondering if this will fit this. It's the exact same size. It's a 3 meter by 6 meter polytunnel cover, just like this one. It is designed differently, but I'm thinking this might fit on here. I blimmin' hope so, because if I take this cover off and figure out this doesn't fit, we're going to be in trouble, I think, because we won't have a polytunnel cover to protect anything in here. I think next week, maybe if we get time, we're going to try and put this cover on here. Yeah, we're going to have to dig up the overlapping plastic though. There again, we could probably just pull it actually and it'll probably come out. Yeah, the plastic's sort of disintegrated. Any plastic that's in the ground sort of broken to bits. But anyway, I think we'll do that. We're going to have to dig all the overlapping plastic up because we buried it in a trench, and then we're going to have to try and put this on and give it a clean. Yeah, anyway, yeah. So here's the new plot at the moment. Doesn't look that great. It's mostly membrane at the moment. The damp-proof membrane here is the stuff that I'm using to line the raised beds with. It's all laid out because I'm gradually getting it cut to size. We've got our compost bays there, which we're still needing to build. I'm probably only going to build a couple more of them because we do have a little bit less space now because we have changed our plans with this strawberry cage. This is where it's sitting at the moment. I may move it around, but yeah, there's loads of space for it. I'm going to sit 30 litre buckets in here, fill them with strawberries, cover it with green netting. It should be much easier to manage, I think. We've moved my mum's raised beds on here as well. They're just quickly laid there, so they're not on the path out there. And these will probably be moved as well. They're quite close together then. We'll probably move them a bit further apart. And we need to fill them up as well. And the other day I harvested a few parsnips from the raised bed over there as well, because, you know, it's November. We've not had some really cold weather yet. We've not had any frost. Parsnips do taste better after some frost, but I just couldn't help myself. I harvested some of those. I harvested some leeks as well. There's still a few leeks on the go. And I made a really nice vegetable stew for bonfire night, and I want to grow more of these winter vegetables next year, because a lovely hearty warming winter stew is just so nice. I want to grow more things like swede, parsnips, more carrots, and things that you can stick in winter stews. Celeriac, I might try celeriac as well. I'm going to have loads of raised beds next year to do that. 11 new raised beds which are going to be hopefully ready for spring, and we can grow loads of brassicas in there, loads of root veg in there as well. So really exciting stuff coming next year. Should be really good, I think. I've got a good feeling about it. Anyway, it's starting to get dark now. It's actually, what time is it? It's 3:10 and it's starting to get dark. It's very gloomy, and yeah, you can't really stay at the allotment late at this time of year. You know, in the summer you could stay here till 9 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night even. Honestly, at this time of year, for the first couple of weeks after the clocks go back, you'll hear me talking about it a lot. I'll look out the window and I'll go, wow, it's 5 o'clock and it's dark. Yeah, it just baffles me every single year how it gets dark so early. And yeah, it'll be good when spring arrives, won't it? So anyway, that's what I've done this week at the allotment, and that's what's going on. We've harvested our butternut squash with lined some more of the raised beds. That's a thing we need to get done slowly over the next few weeks, and then we need to fill them, which is going to be a big job. But hopefully the hugelkultur methods should make things much easier. You know, wood chip at the bottom, horse manure at the bottom as well, and then probably some homemade compost on top of that, and then the top layer is going to be topsoil. So hope you enjoyed this little vlog update, guys. Do let me know in the comments what you're doing at the moment. It's not a great time of year for gardeners. It's still busy because we're getting ready for the winter, but you know, there's not that much we can do now, and we're patiently waiting for spring to arrive, but it'll come eventually. We need to just hang on in there and just keep ourselves busy, and it'll be here before we know it. I'll see you in the next video, guys. I hope you all stay safe, stay warm, and happy gardening.